We are Julie and the podcasters, Angie, Essie, Inga, and Laila, and today we're taking on a TikTok trend and created JATP themed presentations. And since presentations are very visual, we are creating a video version of this episode that you can find on YouTube. The link is in the episode notes, or you can find it on our social media. I'm Inga.
I'm Laila.
I'm Angie.
And I'm Essie.
And that was a horrible intro because I kept stumbling over my own words. I hope this is not how the rest of the episode is going to go.
It's weird not having a guest. Like, I'm so used to having a guest the past couple of times.
Right? Yeah. We've been having 2 guests in a row.
I'm so mad I missed last week.
Laila is today's guest.
Exactly.
Thanks for having me.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, my name is Laila. And okay, first of all, I just want to say one thing about Julie Eos Fantasmas. The theme song is amazing. I loved it every single time. I felt like you guys didn't like it, but every time they went, Julie, I was like, come on, I kept like, it's great.
We talked about that we all had earworms from it.
It's great.
Yeah.
I was like, I wish I was there. I wish I was there.
What's your opinion on Nicholas now that we have you here?
Is it bad if I say I like him?
Wow.
It's surprising.
Yeah.
Okay, I spoiled it for myself. Because when we were doing it, I was like searching it and I knew Julie ends up with Nick. So I was like, you know what? And he kind of looks like what Luke should look like because I'm used to the American version. So he was already favored. And I was like, I don't know. It was great. It was great. I kind of found a YouTube channel that has all 13 episodes. I found it like 2 days ago. I was like, yeah, but that's as much as they uploaded from right now. They're still uploading it. So I was like, I'm going to wait until they upload all of them so I could watch them. But it's taking them forever. I'm like, come on now, catch up.
Well, I mean, probably creating the subtitles is quite a lot of work.
Yeah, that's why I'm being patient. So I can't wait to finish it. I know how it, like, does it end with a cliffhanger or do they do a one and done type of show? I don't know. But
Letty said it was pretty much a good ending. Like, they could have technically done more, but it wasn't a cliffhanger.
I need more. I didn't finish it yet, but I know I need more.
But on the subject of subtitles that are hard to make, we got a message at some point ago. I honestly forgot to mention it on here, which I thought it was more elaborate. I could have just said that, but the message is someone anonymous sent us a question on Tumblr and wondered if there are transcripts of our podcast, and I did answer this on Tumblr, but I'm gonna answer it here as well. We don't have transcripts on our episodes, but we are kind of working on it, or rather we were working on it, and then something came up and we stopped because we also kind of discovered that it's a lot of work, or rather the person who was doing it for us discovered it's a lot of work. But eventually we kind of want to have transcripts.
To work on it on the summer.
In case we have any listeners who want to help us with that, please reach out. We would love your help.
Yeah, I'll try to get to it on the summer. I am like in my last summer of college and I think I might take a year off. So I could work on it. I'll see where life takes me by the beginning of May.
Yeah, I mean, I would also, like, if I had the time, I would love to help. I'm currently kind of busy throughout like these next couple of weeks, but if I have the time, I'll definitely like see if I can do some of it.
So yeah, eventually, hopefully, but not right now.
Soon, hopefully.
Well, I mean, we already have like this is our 23rd episode, 22nd episode. I've lost count. So until we catch up with all the episodes, it's probably going to be quite a while.
It's a lot of episodes. And it's like this week. It's gonna be like the 6-month anniversary of our first episode.
Yeah, in 2 days.
OMG!
It's insane.
I went by so fast.
So basically, it's gonna be the 6 months anniversary by the time this comes out because we record.
We're gonna hit 1 year before we get season 2. So
oh god,
we need to go. But cranking out them ideas.
I'm sure we're not gonna hit 1 year before they announce the season 2. Right?
I mean, fingers crossed, right?
Yeah.
We don't know, man.
Do we want to start with the actual presentation part?
Who wants to go first?
Nobody. I can go
No.
first.
I mean,
You can go first. Yeah, let's get mine out of the way. Why not?
I'm so excited.
So excited for this.
Again,
when I
don't be
I've
very
seen a
excited.
bunch presentations on TikTok, and I was like, we need to do this. We need to do this.
Okay. How the JTP characters would do in the Hunger Games? Only obviously children, the under 18 characters, because only children get drafted for the Hunger Games. So yeah, we'll start with Julie. So Julie is smart. She would enchant everyone with her voice, which I think would get her sponsors. And that would help her make it to the end. But I think he would refuse to kill unless like they're threatening someone he cares about. She cares about. Man, there's a typo there. I'm sorry for the typos. I feel like it's gonna be a lot like Katniss. She has a lot of that energy, so she would definitely defend her loved ones. So what's the verdict? She would probably win the games by sheer determination and just not for being a crowd favorite. If she gets to the last two with someone from a certain district, I feel like she would pull a Katniss. She has that vibe. I don't know. And since she's well liked, game makers would allow two winners again. They wouldn't ruffle any feathers. We'll go with Luke. So Luke, well, probably good with hand-to-hand combat. I don't know. I mean, based on his arms, I would think that's a fair assumption, but who knows? Would distract reviews with his sleeveless shirts though, so I feel like that's a good tactic. Due to his arms and his puppy face, he would definitely get sponsors. Sponsors would give him lots of help, and he probably would make it to the finale. What's the verdict? Luke would win the games just by getting a lot of sponsors. He'll get a lot of help. Guys, you should react. I feel
I
weird.
love how you're saying that Luke would win the games because he's hot and people would so they would support him.
Are you guys?
It's correct though. It's not wrong. It's
I was
not
gonna
wrong.
say.
I also really love the idea of Julie just like in the arena just starting to sing to get sponsors, or is she just
You have to
singing in
do
the
whatever.
interview?
I feel like I was thinking like in the interview, before the games, and like that would make her like a crowd favorite.
No one would even try to hurt Julie. They were like, "Oh, but she's an angel. She's an angel. We can't do that."
I don't know if any of you guys read the prequel book to the Hunger Games.
No,
but
I haven't yet.
No, there's a prequel book. I missed that.
This one of the characters, he's a singer, and the way she gets a lot of sponsors is by singing and being a good performer. So
Oh hell yeah!
There we go. Exactly.
Interesting.
There you see.
It's
You see?
canon.
I know. I knew it even without reading it. I knew that was gonna be Julie's superpower. But yeah, so Luke would win because everyone would think he's cute. I mean, if we take how the fan reacts to Luke and Charlie, I feel like it's a fair assumption to assume that he would win the games by that.
That's true. That's true.
Pretty privileged.
Never underestimate the thirst of people.
The sponsors thirsty for Luke.
Okay, let's continue with Alex. He's an anxious boy, poor baby. He would probably have a couple of panic attacks before the game starts. He would definitely try to have a plan before the game starts, but I don't know how good that plan would be. Probably not that great, He would definitely be reluctant to kill. Might kill by accident, though, What's the verdict? Well, jury's still out. I don't know. I feel like he could win as easily as he could be killed, honestly.
I
We'll probably
agree.
make it to the last 5, though.
I think he would. I don't think he would make it. I think he would make it to the end, but he won't win. He'd probably die.
I think he would
like
be
I
good
said,
with
people-
making with making teams and like
feel like
finding
it would be
people to
dependent
collaborate with.
On his allies. Like if he had good
Yeah.
allies, he would win. If he has shitty allies, he would die.
Yeah. So again, I feel like it's a toss up, but like it could go either way with Alex. So that's my verdict. We'll go with Reggie. Well, Reggie, a total puppy, which means he's not prepared at all for the games. Duh. He would absolutely refuse to kill anyone. But would make friends with someone and they would protect him. That would buy him a few rounds being beyond the like initial bloodbath where most tributes die. So what's the verdict? Sadly, Reggie will probably die by eating some like poisonous berries or something. Rip.
Why is
Poor
this?
boy.
wow.
But it's true.
I feel like he would also like try to flirt with like the people he was trying to fight against.
Again,
And
I
the
feel like
rest
that's why he would
of
survive a lot of
the video.
rounds, but like
Yeah, I feel like he could basically be like the Peter character, like the one who kind of just is off somewhere for a while. He first has some allies, and he's off somewhere, and then somebody basically just pulls him through. And I mean, Peter would have died eating the berries if that fox face girl wouldn't have done it first. So that could have happened.
yeah,
I feel like this is very accurate, and I'm enjoying myself so far.
wonderful. I'm glad you guys like it because I was like, I don't know if this even makes sense, but let's continue with Willie. Well, he's a street smart, right? So that means that I feel like because of that, he probably knows how to wield a weapon, right? Um, Living on the street has definitely given him good survival skills, and he won't hesitate to kill because his survival instincts will kick in. He would know. So, what's the verdict on Willie? I don't remember. Willie would definitely make it to the final stages. Would win unless he makes friends with someone, probably Alex, and then sacrifices for him.
I would also find it funny if like
The cough got me.
Willie's supposed to like have survival instincts, and then they're like, "Don't you know how to do this?" And he's like, "No, I never learned." It's like, "What were you doing?" "I was skateboarding. Like I didn't learn how to do it."
I mean, the question is, does
You're right.
somebody who skates in LA traffic, like, does he really have survival instincts?
I think he'll be too distracted if he finds Alex.
Yeah, look at Alex, and he'll be like,
He'll be like, let's climb a tree and look at things. And then they'll just forget about the games and then probably end up dead.
It's
But they'll
gonna
survive
turn
to the
into like
end.
a
But I
rom
was-
com, you know.
If both Alex and Willie are in the games, then they would just forget. They would just be too busy staring into each other's eyes.
They'll probably get sponsors just by being cute. Come on, I'll
That's
give
true,
them enough
though.
credit.
All right, let's continue. Oh, Nick is next. He's an athlete, but he doesn't seem very smart beyond that. We also don't know how good of an athlete he is. So it's very difficult to get like a reading. Would be overlooked, which could have worked in his favor, but I don't think he does. He's not smart enough to use that to his advantage. Unless he's possessed by Caleb, obviously. That's the only caveat there. And the verdict: Nick will most likely die at the very beginning, during the bubble bath.
I
honestly.
agree. I agree.
"I love how you just called him dumb."
Yeah.
What? No, I didn't mean to call him dumb. I'm just, he doesn't seem like to be smart to the games. I feel like I'm not even smart. Like if I was, go into the Hunger Games, I would like die in this stage as well. It's like I'm not
I would
smart enough
end-
to have that survival skills, to make it before that. So that's my point.
One thing is he plays lacrosse, so he's really fast, probably. So maybe he would be able to get out of the bloodbath by just running away. But he might also decide that he's strong enough in lacrosse
That's
to
the thing. We don't know how good of an athlete he is. So that's the one thing that I'm like,
He's
well,
not running all the time. He has to sleep. And a lot of things happen when people are sleeping. So
No, I don't mean he would win, but he would at least get out of the bloodbath for running, maybe. But yeah, after that, I would say probably not.
Yeah, I do feel like also he might maybe be like, "Okay, guys, let's make a team. Let's team up," and they'll be like, "No, we don't wanna. No, like we're not gonna work with."
You talked a lot about the people who get sponsors, and to be quite honest, I think Nick might be the more forgettable one, so he wouldn't get that many sponsors. I mean,
I agree.
remember
Yeah,
how
that's why I
much
said
Laila forgot about him.
he would be overlooked. That's what I said. He would be overlooked, which could have worked to his advantage, so he's like no one's target. But he's not. I feel like he doesn't have the skills to like use that
Yep.
to his advantage. So that's
That's
as far
true.
as it goes. So let's continue. Flynn. Flynn is also smart, like Julie. Knows how to play a crowd, which will be great during interviews to get sponsors. I think she won't hesitate to kill. She knows it's either kill or be killed. So what's the verdict? Flynn will win the games, no doubts about it.
agree.
Yeah,
I
that
can
sounds
see
right.
her just doing anything she can to win.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's like there's no doubt about that. She's gonna win the games.
Yeah, he would win the games, and then she'll go on to like roast the president and be like, "I don't like you." Like she'll go on to talk badly about the government.
Okay, let's go with Carrie. Carrie won't hesitate to kill at all. Like I have no doubts about that. Again, she also knows she needs to do what it takes to win. So she would do it. We get a 10 in her training score, which would make her a target, but it will also get her sponsors, which will work on her favor. So what's the verdict? Carrie would also win the games. Probably not as easily as Flynn, though.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Who's
What if?
next? Carlos, baby.
Oh, never mind.
No,
Actually,
continue.
I still sub Carrie and Flynn. So I'm like, what if they do the Hunger Games thing at the very end, where
Ooh,
they
yeah,
both
that would be interesting.
win, and then
That would be interesting, like enemies to friends to lovers, and that thing. Like they start off as being like, "Oh God, no, I'm never gonna team up with her," and then they are kind of forced to team up by some circumstance, and then at the end they do the Hunger Games lover thing. That would be awesome.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, same. I mean, in that way, they will both win, like I said.
Mm.
Okay, let's go with Carlos. Poor baby. That's literally what I put. Poor baby, he's so young. He's smart though, and because he's so young and adorable, he could win sponsors. Can probably hide and climb trees. I don't know. He seems like that kind of kid. And he seems very resourceful as well. So what's the verdict? I don't remember what I put on verdict. Unsure. Yeah, that's probably could win if everything plays out in his favor and has a bit of luck. He could also be killed, but I feel like he would also make it to the last five, just because he's small and like he could hide easily.
I feel like for the beginning he would need an ally to really make it, and then at the end, like at some point he would need an ally to really have the chance to make it far. But yeah, I could see him getting pretty far and even winning.
Yeah. All right. Okay. There we go. There's a bonus round. Bobby. Let's see how Bobby would do. Bobby, good at hiding. I think once he survives the initial bloodbath, he would make a deal with Caleb though beforehand and win the games. You'll understand the Caleb part in a minute. Trevor. So that means that he would totally lean into the victor's lifestyle, but he would want to separate his action from the games from last as a victor. So Bobby would change his name to Trevor. And would not be a great mentor to future tributes.
I love the way you did that, like the way you connected it to the future.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no, I
awesome.
had to. And then Caleb, he's obviously the head game maker. He would live to design the most extra arena ever. He would probably put a lot of obstacles on dump rolls and would definitely change rules mid-game. And the winner could be recruited to his club though, so at least there's that.
I don't even know if that's a good prize.
It's
Probably
part of the
not.
prize, but like he's I don't know, he's in charge of the game, so
Look, I'll give you food. Just come to my club and just do everything I say.
yeah. So that's it. That's the end.
Well, I
of
mean,
my
if
presentation.
if you live in like a yeah, exactly, great.
Amazing.
If the tributes live in a district like District 12, then honestly getting food and an endless party might be interesting for them.
Honestly, I agree.
I love that. That was awesome.
That was
I 100%.
I'm glad you guys like it. Yeah, who's going next? That was mine.
I
My
can't-
homework.
Okay.
Oh no, Inga, you go if you want.
Okay, then let me see where I have
Mine's
the
pretty
right
long,
name.
but it's mostly pictures, so I can wait.
Okay. It's soulmates without a soul. Does losing your soul mean losing your color?
I
How
love
do I?
how professional it is, how you put the date on the bottom.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was
It
looking.
wanted that. Like I had
Very
this whole.
professional.
I chose like a template, and it just wanted me to put a date there. Just like, you know what? Who cares? First, some basic assumption about soulmate AUs, because I'm not entirely sure if everybody is aware what they work as, and also I needed some slides to make something up, so I just have text here. Depending on the soulmate AU, you have a soulmate, and there are different ways you can identify your soulmate. For example, there are like colors or various tattoos or markings. Then there are sometimes timers or forms of telepathy or empathy. For example, the colors thing, which is the one I'm going to focus on, is you see in black and white until you meet your soulmate. Or the various tattoos can be either the name of the soulmates or the first words they're going to say to you, or just some sort of picture or marking or something that is the same for them, or just I don't know, fits with them. Like for example, in Harry Potter, where James was the doe and Lily was James was the stag and Lily was the doe, which matches, and that would work for soulmate marks or tattoos as well. Then there's of course timers, which count down to the moment you meet your soulmate, or sometimes there's like you share dreams or share fantasies or share something, can read minds, share songs. I don't know. There's so many different versions of soulmate AUs. And then also depending on the AU, that those things happen when you meet them, and that can either mean just being in their presence, like for example, if you walk into a room and your soulmate is there, you whatever kind of identifying thing shows up, which of course can sometimes be a bit difficult because there could be a lot of people and you don't know who actually triggered that. But there's also touching your soulmate or speaking to them, like for example, their first words to you or your first words to them, or looking them in the eyes. There are lots of different versions. I've even seen some versions where you have to form an emotional connection to actually have the soulmate thing show up. Also, depending on which AU you have, you can meet your soulmate at any time during your life. But some AUs have it where you need to be a certain age to meet your soulmate. For example, 18 or sometimes 16, or I don't know, whatever the person who came up with the AU comes up decides is the best version that fits their story. Sometimes there are also people with no soulmates, with multiple soulmates, or with platonic soulmates, but that as well depends on the story that somebody is telling. The Soulmate AU has generally a lot of world building opportunities regarding laws, customs, and other stuff surrounding soulmates. Assumptions about the AU I'm basing this whole question and presentation on is that everybody sees the world in black and white, or if you want to call it grayscale, until they meet their soulmate. In this case, I'm going with looking into their eyes. Ghosts, which are obviously important in the Julia the Phantoms universe, can have soulmates and can even meet their soulmates after they turned into ghosts. And if someone dies, their soulmate can still see colors unless the soul was destroyed. So, for example, in this version that I'm going with, Ray can still see colors because Rose's soul is still somewhere, either on the other side, wherever that might be, or a ghost. We don't know exactly. So I'm going with that. And Lifers and Ghosts can also be soulmates because obviously Julie and Luca are soulmates. So we needed that.
I was gonna say Juke for the win.
Exactly. I have obviously chosen Willie and Alex for this question that I'm asking because they're obviously soulmates. I mean, who's even questioning that? They meet like that's just the two of them. They're obviously meeting each other, which would trigger something. So that's a good part for this. They are both ghosts, and one of them has a soul and the other doesn't, which is an interesting question. How that would affect the colors, and of course because they're cute and because they're Willex.
I love that your last point was just they're cute.
Those are facts that need to be stated.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a fair fact.
Okay. The option one that I could see if they in the soulmate universe, what happens when they meet? Alex sees color, and Willie doesn't. And that would be because Alex's soul is there and can recognize Willie's soul even if it isn't there, and so that unlocks the colors for Alex. But Willie's soul isn't there, so his soul cannot unlock colors for him, which would result in Alex being able to see everything in color and nothing changing for Willie. Which would obviously be, I'm pretty sure Alex would be pretty freaked out about that whole thing because he's already anxious, and the one person that he would be able to ask about the whole color thing, he cannot ask because that's obviously maybe his soulmate or maybe not, and maybe it's one-sided, and this is a whole lot of mess and so much angst potential. I love it. The next option would be Willie sees color and Alex doesn't. That would mean in this case that the soulmates would work in a way that Willie meet the soul of his soulmate, even though his soul isn't there, and that still means that Willie can see colors. But Alex's soulmate's soul isn't there, and that is too many souls in one sentence, I think. So he cannot see colors because he hasn't actually met the soul of his soulmate. Which then would mean not as much anxiety for Alex, but I'm pretty sure Willie would also freak out, especially because he has no one he can talk to about all of this, because he doesn't have Reggie and Luke and Julie who he can complain to. I don't think he would really want to talk to Caleb about potentially meeting his soulmate. Also, Willie knows that he doesn't have a soul, so he would be able to understand what is happening, maybe, which of course would mean a little bit less anxiety for him, but also he's probably not expecting to get his soul back, so that would suck a lot, and also a lot of angst potential. And what would be a good soulmate AU without angst, right? Option 3, neither of them see colors because both souls have to be there for the colors to activate because the souls have to meet each other, and one soul isn't there, so neither of them sees colors. But once Willie gets his soul back, it will be their souls meeting for the first time, and they would both see colors, which would of course be quite a dramatic reveal and really awesome. And as soon as they figure out that Willie doesn't have a soul, and that would mean that he cannot find his soulmate, that could also have a lot of potential of like them being like, are we soulmates? Are we not soulmates? Are we ever going to find out? So still a lot of angst potential because why not? Then option 4, which honestly is maybe the most boring one narratively, is that they can both see colors because both of their souls are still in existence and not destroyed, so they can still see colors. I think that would make more sense if they had met before Willie lost his soul, because then the souls would have met. But yeah, it is an option. I had to put it in. Then my conclusion is maybe the wrong word, but the conclusion is, first of all, so much angst, and I love it. To be quite honest, option 3, where neither of them can see colors, is probably the most logical because their souls didn't actually meet. I think option 1 or 2 would make the best the best story, like narratively. Option 4 is the most boring because, as I said, they just see color. I mean, that would mean happy Willex, which is always a good thing, but it wouldn't make the most interesting story, I'm assuming. I'm not quite sure if option 1 or option 2 is more logical. Like if it's more logical that Willie sees color and Alex doesn't, or that Alex sees color and Willie doesn't. And I'm really curious to hear your opinion on that. But let me get through the slide first. I think if one or both see color while the other one doesn't have a soul, the colors would be muted. Like they wouldn't see the full, like, well, they would see all colors, but they wouldn't be quite as bright and vibrant as colors usually are. They would be a bit muted. But of course, they wouldn't know that because they had never seen colors before. And they would probably not really notice until Willie gets sold back. And now I'm interested, what is your opinion? Who would see color? What option is the most logical?
That was,
I
I want to
think-
say that, first of all, that was really good. I love that. That was very specific.
I'm not done with the presentation. There's more to come, but first I wanted to know your option
So far,
opinion.
that was really good. I don't know. I think it'd be cool if only one of them could see color, but then I want a really dramatic scene where Willie gets his soul back, where it's like suddenly they can both see color now, and it's, oh my god, it's so cool. But I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I don't know which one of the one or two would be a better option.
I think the one where Alex doesn't see color because Willie's soul isn't there makes more sense to me, and that's the one I really like the most.
Good. Then let's move on. I also wanted to talk a little bit about other soulmates in this version of Julie and the Phantoms because why not? Obviously, Julie and Luke. I feel like with all the screaming and the confusion when the boys showed up, neither of them would really notice that they see colors until a little bit later, which would then probably lead to possibly more screaming because why not? And then I also think that once the jolt start, the Caleb's jolt start, that every jolt of color would mean that the colors get more muted for them because Luke's soul is slowly being destroyed. Destroyed, so that would have an effect on the color, which would make Julie very worried, and it would also make her even more worried at the end of Stand Tall because the colors wouldn't be completely gone, but they also wouldn't be back to normal, which should have happened once they crossed over. So she would probably be a bit more nervous after that. And then, of course, when they hug at the end, then the colors comes back full force, and that would be a really, really cute moment.
I mean, kind of that's what happened, isn't it? They
Yeah,
glow, so it's in a way that's what happened. And
exactly.
like with the fact that every like jolt means that Julie also feels it, that would mean that she would know from the beginning. Like she would probably ask what's going on. You know?
But I mean, I feel like the first 2 or 3 would maybe just be like it's like a tiny little bit, and I'm not sure if you would really notice that. Would you really notice if you
Okay, yeah, you're right.
like if your colors would just go a tiny bit less saturated? I don't think you would really notice at first. But yeah, she would probably catch on sooner and would be very interesting. Rose and Ray, and I tried to find a better a picture of young Carlos because I kind of felt it was a little bit awkward to have them both together, but I couldn't find one where he didn't just look like a really modelly headshot that just looked completely unnatural and not like Ray at all. So I ended up going with actual Ray. So yeah, since I already said that Ray, that you can still see colors when your soulmate dies as long as their soul isn't destroyed. So Ray can still see colors. I feel like it would maybe be like a tiny bit muted since Rose died, which might also be like he's just imagining that because he's sad and grieving. But dahlias are still as bright and as colorful as ever to him because obviously they're Rose's favorite flowers. And then maybe Flynn and Carrie, because I still think that should be a canon ship, and I still hope that it will be, and actually think that is not completely unrealistic. And I think since they met as children, and I'm not going with the whole you need to be a certain age to meet your soulmate. At first, everybody would have thought maybe that they're platonic soulmates because when you're 5-year-old or 6-year-old, like start seeing colors, you probably decide not to think about what that could mean. And then they fell out and had their big fight, and both decided that the soulmate system is just stupid anyways, and who needs it? And it's just a flawed system, and this universe can't tell me who to like. But then eventually they realized that they're not quite as platonic soulmates as everybody thought at first, and that the system actually got it right for them. So
I love how the Flynn and Kay agenda is spreading. That makes me so happy.
definitely. And then I put Mitch and Emily as well because there's like one other couple that is actually canon and would work in this universe. And I feel like, I mean, their marriage survived losing their son, which is often something that breaks marriages, so it must be a strong bond. And also, lots of married couples are probably soulmates because if you know there's a soulmate for you out there, people would be less likely to marry someone who's not their soulmate. So yeah, I think they could be soulmates as well. And I don't have anything else on them because we don't know anything about them, but I included them anyways. And then at the end, just to combat all the angst, I have pictures of Willie and Alex hugging because we always need pictures of Willie and Alex hugging.
Babies.
Your hug. Look at how adorable. Like,
It's so
Exactly.
perfect.
I figured we needed to end with something positive.
Yeah, the first presentation made me laugh. This one made me cry emotionally.
yeah,
Honestly,
definitely.
mood.
So
Love
cute.
this study of a trope. It was really interesting and very insightful. I didn't realize how many different soulmate AUs exist until you started listing them all off.
So many, and I'm definitely a sucker for soulmate AUs, so I've read quite a few. Yeah, this was actually like I had this idea about the whole one of them would see color and one wouldn't. Like at some point one random evening, and I figured I should write a fic about that. And I have started. I've managed like I don't know 300, 400 words maybe, and then I stopped because I don't know, I just couldn't write. But eventually I might finish this, and yeah, I figured this would make an interesting presentation.
What's your personal favorite one?
To be honest, the one I came up with first was Alex sees color and Willie doesn't. And I do agree that maybe in some ways the one where Willie sees color makes a little bit more sense. But my feeling is just Alex would see color and Willie wouldn't. It's not really. I don't have logical arguments for this. I'd really tried because I wanted to list them, but I don't. And I didn't even think about the other one until actually Raven pointed it out to me because I told Raven about that idea. And yeah, then I started debating, which just makes more sense, and I'm still not sure. But
Honestly, I'm starting to be
fanfic-
swayed to yours because the way Willie dresses, it's kind of like he can't see color either.
I'm dragging Willie right now.
It's out of love. One day, Alex is like, "Why do you dress so wild?" And Willie's like, I just, I don't know. I just pick out anything. It would make sense. It would make sense. Like, he'll be just say it nonchalantly, like, "Oh, I stopped seeing color the day I died, so I just wear anything." And he'll be like, "It's not like anyone can see me."
But no, Willie never saw colors. Like he didn't see colors before he died either because he hadn't met Alex yet.
Anyway, yeah, that's the part. But like I never saw color, so it doesn't really bother me.
I'm as I said in the fanfiction that I am eventually maybe gonna write. It is going to be Alex sees colors and Willie doesn't. Also because I feel like I have a better grasp on writing Alex's point of view than Willie's because first of all we know a little bit more about Alex, and second of all I don't know, just yeah, I think I have a better grasp on that, so I'm gonna go with that. Also
feel
that
like-
would make it easier to include the whole story with like Julie and Luke and Reggie and stuff.
Yeah, you just want Alex to be sad. You just want to write sad Alex. I get
He would be sad in the other one too once he finds out that Willie can see colors and he can't.
Yeah, he would take it a lot heavier and more seriously than Willie would.
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't see color?
Okay. I'm gonna try.
I'm just
and-
mesmerized by the hug.
Yeah, I
too.
know. It's so cute. I
You
needed
keep
to
staring
include
at
the
it.
pictures, and then I was like, okay, I have a picture of one of one point of view, and I was like, but I cannot really. I need the other point of view as well, and so I just picked two pictures so we can see both of their faces.
It's such a good hug too. Like it's a solid
know.
hug.
It's such a
Yeah,
like they
it's
really.
so solid.
They both look like they are such good huggers.
Layla, you can go if you want. I don't have a preference for order.
Okay, I would love to. Let me see if I can. Oh, I can't. Okay, I don't want you guys peeking. Okay, my casting choices are a little questionable, but I stand by them 100%. Anyway, okay, my presentation to you guys and our listeners is gender bending the characters of Julie and the Phantom. Before I start, I just went off of vibe and what I felt like. And I tried searching the ages, but there were certain characteristics in a certain actor that I really, really needed. So I disregarded the age. And I was like, if Boo Boo Stewart could be 27, so can this guy that I casted can be 27. Anyway, moving on, I'm going to start with my Julie. Okay, you might recognize him. His name is Marcel Ruiz, and I named him Julian or Jules Malonia. How you might recognize him from as Alex from One Day at a Time. Why I think he's a great fit to be Julie is because he's Puerto Rican. He's a great actor. They're also the same age, and he deserves more roles. And he's very funny, and I really like him a lot. Here's the side by side, and in this, the side by side is where I concur if it's an upgrade or not. And I feel like no one compares to Madison. It's not really it's not an upgrade, but it's not a downgrade. It's neutral. They're both perfect to be the main characters of of Julian the Phantom or Julian and the Phantoms. So how do you feel about Julian?
I love him. I love the actor, so I approve.
I love him too.
Me
I've
too.
never
Yeah,
seen
he's
the actor in
perfect.
anything, so I'm not completely sure, but like visually definitely fits.
Watch one day at a time. It's really great.
Yeah, I do like.
Is
your
that
choice of
like
actor.
what is that about?
It's
I've
so
One day,
good.
I've
it's
heard
about
it
a
mentioned
Cuban
somewhere.
family, and it's like a remake of a show that was made back in the day. It's about a Cuban family, and they live in LA, and you know, it's like a sitcom. It's really cute.
I'm not sure if I could actually watch it in Germany, but yeah, I'm not sure if it's on any streaming services for me. But
It's
I
a
will look it
Netflix
up.
original. It's a Netflix
Okay, yeah,
original.
then it should be.
Yeah, it's really great. Okay, I picked Rosario Dawson. Why? I don't know, but I love her. So I was like, Rosario Dawson is going to be the mother right now. Why I picked Rosario? Oh, she's Rae, R-A-E. I could not think of a first name, and I was like, we're not gonna think too hard about it. Where you might recognize her, she's in a lot of things, but where I like her the most is in the Marvel Netflix shows as Claire Temple and as Jane J.R. Ramos from Jane the Virgin. Well, I think she's a great fit. She's an amazing actress. I love seeing her on my screen, and the more I see her, the more happier I am, and I love her so much. Moving
I
on,
like this choice. I like
I'm
it.
gonna go by these slides super fast. I just realized. Okay, side by side. I feel like it's an upgrade. Rosario Dawson just does not compare to Mr. Carlos right here. No offense to him, but she's just iconic. I love her so much. She's an upgrade. So I would like to hear your thoughts on Rosario versus Carlos.
I don't want to say voices, but as the casting, yeah, I mean, I love her also, so I approve.
I couldn't think of someone. There was someone else on my list that I really wanted, but I was like, I don't know if it fits in the way that I set up the family. So I just went with her.
Yeah,
I do
seems like
like
it
it.
fits.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
like it. I agree. It's like an upgrade as well.
It's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. Okay, next person. Scarlett Estevez as Carla. Why? How you might recognize her? Trixie from Lucifer. And why she's a great fit. She's the same age as Sunny, and she needs more recognition. I love her so much. She's a doll. Side by side.
Oh my
Dare
god,
I
I love
say.
this.
They could be siblings.
But yes, and I don't think it's an upgrade. I feel like they're great to be interchanged with each other, so they're perfect. It's on equal basis. It's no one's worth more than the other here. They're equal. I love them both so much. They're both my children, and they're the future of Hollywood. So we need to put them in the spotlight. What do you
12
think?
out of 10.
Perfect.
Molina family
Completely perfect.
casting.
I agree.
She's a great choice. Okay, next choice might be a little. You guys probably might not know him. Probably one of you guys might. Jason as Raphael. Later Raphael Melonia. How you may know him as Ruby from On My Blog. Why I think he's a great fit because I love him so much. I love him and I would cast him for every role if I could because I love Jason. As Ruby, he's iconic. As Raphael, Julian's late father, would be an amazing fit. Stream On My Blog. Season 4 is coming out soon. The side by sides. Just like the before slide, it's not really an upgrade because we won't see them as much. But I feel like it works with the family. It works with the family. What do you guys think?
I can see it. Yeah, for sure.
I can see it.
Like, I just thinking, looking at her, I don't remember her name, which is really rude of me. But she looks like she could play Selena, doesn't it? Netflix did her dirty.
She does.
She looked like she could play Selena, and they didn't cast her in the Selena show. But you know, we can move on. Okay, this is kind of controversial. My friend saw this and she didn't like it at all, but I felt like it fit age-wise and singing-wise and iconicness-wise. Olivia Rodrigo as Lucy. I don't like the name Lucy. I was rushing, couldn't think of a name. I was like, Lucy. I was gonna name her after me, Laila, but I was like, no, we're not gonna go there. How you might know her? I put as Nina from High School Musical, the musical series. Why? I think she's a great fit. No one else in my mind can have this role. Just imagine her singing Unsaid Emily and just feel the motion. And I think I would die for her. I think I would die. That's literally what I wrote. And she's so talented. And here's the side by side. Honestly, upgrade. Sorry, Charlie, not sorry. She's an upgrade. What do you guys think?
I haven't watched the High School Musical series, so I have honestly no clue. But yeah, maybe.
Her voice is great. Oh my god,
Cover
you're right.
Unsaid
Like she
Emily.
would kill
Yeah,
Unsaid
I can
Emily.
see it.
Yeah,
I
she
also
would
love
kill it.
it. So.
I love this. I love
Okay.
this.
So far, this is making me notice I don't watch enough shows. Apparently,
I
watch way
don't
too
know
many
who's
shows.
next. Okay. Oh, yes, Mia. I've never seen her in anything, but my friend said Mia as Femme Alex. And I was like, you know what? I see the similarities. I from first glance, she's amazing. She's in the show where you may recognize her as Shelby Goodkind from The Wild. I'm going to watch it upcoming weekend. I'm excited for it. Why I think she's the best? I feel like she was suggested by a friend. At first I was gonna do a little shade, put Dove Cameron. I was like, let me give her a role since she hasn't been in anything. But I was like, I'll go with Mia because she fits better. Side by side, honestly, is it an upgrade? Yes, it's an upgrade. No offense to Owen, but I feel like Mia is superior.
I love her. I watched the show, and I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil it.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, but I love her character in the show, and yeah, I definitely see it.
I haven't seen it yet, but my friend suggested it, and I was like, you know what? We'll go
Yeah,
with
I'm not
it.
very familiar with her, but you know
No, me
what?
neither.
Based on looks.
Yeah, definitely. And you're like Dove Cameron would not be able to pull off Alex. I'm sorry, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I was going with because young blonde people. First of all, I didn't even want them to do them white at all, but I was like, since I changed Reggie's race, I was like, we'll just keep Alex's character, Alexis. I named her white. Next is the queen herself, Auli'i as Regina. Her name's Regina. Reggie Peters. How you would recognize her? She's the voice of Moana from the movie Moana. Why I chose her, she'd be a better Reggie than Jeremy. Already from the bat, she's an upgrade. We don't even need to go to the next slide to debate that. I just could feel it in my bones. She has a voice of a goddess, needs to be in more roles. And I feel like the fact that Reggie lives by the beach just makes this 100% better. Okay. Regina surfs. She's a surfer. Side by side, upgrade 100%. What do you guys think?
I love her, and I agree. I also love how you're just roasting the cast of the.
I know, especially the guys. Honestly, yeah, they need to be
I
roasted a
agree
little
that
bit, but
she's an upgrade, but also I like how you just straight out said that she'd do. I mean, she probably would do a better job. I think Jeremy did a good job. I appreciate.
Jeremy is great. I love Jeremy, but my
yeah,
love
Jeremy's
for
great.
Auli'i is more superior.
Yep.
It's just, I just love her so much.
I would say neutral here on my end, from like a
Neutral.
more objective party, I guess.
I mean, I've never seen her in anything. Obviously, I've heard
she
her
was
in
in a
Moana.
show. She was
but
in a
I've-
show, but it got canceled. I think the show was called Rise.
No.
Yeah, I
but-
watched that.
It was like Glee, but not. Okay, next slide. I don't remember who's on the next slide, so we're gonna keep going. Oh, Caleb. Caleb as Flynn. Didn't change the name because the name is iconic. Why Lucas? He's Lucas from Stranger Things. Why I chose him? He's a fashion icon. He was overlooked in Stranger Things. He deserves more spotlight. There's nothing he can't do. Just like Jada Marie, there's nothing he can't do. They're literally swap the same person. Side by side, this is neutral. It's not an upgrade. It's not a downgrade. They're literally perfect. I love them both so much. What do you guys think?
100% agree.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. I went to the route of it as Bobby and Trevor, Jessica Chastain and Sophia Lillis as Robin, Bobby, and Tracy Wilson. Why you might recognize them? They both played Beverly Marsh in It Chapter 2. Why them? They're perfect. They already played each other. And so they'll do it again. They'll do it again. Great actresses. I love them both. Iconic duo. And dare I say, upgrade. It's an upgrade. Sorry to both of the men, but it's an upgrade. What do you guys think?
I would love that. Yeah.
I went off.
Yeah.
I went off.
I like it. I like how you already chose. It's like they already played, younger and older versions of the
Exactly.
characters.
They
We're gonna
did.
just keep doing that.
And I found pictures of them together. So I was like, you know what? It fits. It just keeps pointing in the right direction. I just love them so much. Next slide. Okay, next slide is the controversial slide. I needed a redhead. So I went with Cameron. I can't say his last name, but his name is Carter Wilson, where you would know him from as Ian Gallagher from Shameless. Why I chose him, his red hair. I'm sure he's a great actor. I don't know. I've never seen Shameless, but yeah, his red hair. He would fit in the family. I needed them to connect somehow. So I was like, red hair. Side by side. He does have Carrie vibes in that picture. So it's further pushing the point that he could be Carter Wilson. What do you guys think?
I watched Shameless, and he's playing a different character. I watched part of Shameless. He's playing a different character from Carrie, but I think he could pull Carrie off. I think that would work very well.
I also watched Shameless, and I can see him playing that character well.
I needed someone with red hair, so we were.
I haven't seen it, but he also plays the Joker in Gotham.
Yes,
So like he has the range. He has the
He
range.
does have the
you know?
range, and I'm pretty sure he won an award for that. He has the range. Is it an upgrade? I don't think so, because I really haven't seen him in anything. So I'm gonna keep Savannah on the high ground, and the fact that I picked him only for his hair says something.
Right. Your only reason.
Okay, Nico Hergara as Carter with a K. I thought two Carters being best friends, having the same name but spelled differently is hilarious. So that's Carter Wilson. This is Carter with a K. How you would know him from Seth from Moxie. I haven't seen Mox, but I have seen the boy. So I was like, perfect. And why I picked Nico to be the replacement of Kayla is because he's very charismatic. And from I've seen him, I already love him so much. And if it were up to me, I would cast him in more than one role in JTP, just like Jason, but I did not. And from what I've seen, he has the range. Hear them side by side. Is it an upgrade? No, it's neutral. I love them both. Tori and Nico are great people. I would love to see them in more things. What do you guys think?
I haven't seen him or anything, but yeah, visually definitely sounds like it would be a great fit.
I love the Carter with a K thing, because they would do that in movies. Like they always do stuff like that. So I
Carter and Carter with a K. Yeah.
I just had the thought seeing this the side by side that Jordan Rodriguez would probably also be a good gender bent version of Tori.
I would switch them up because I don't know who that is.
I don't know. Did you watch Dance Academy or The Fosters?
I did watch Dance Academy.
That's he is Christian.
Oh, I forgot all about him. He was my crush for a while.
Yeah, he was definitely mine too.
Moving on, let's move on. No upgrade, Nick. Upgrade. Let's say upgrade from right now. Lana Condor as Nicole/Nikki or Nick. She could choose how she wants to be addressed. How you would recognize her as Laura Jean from To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Why Lana? I said why not? Honestly, why not? Let Lana play a jock who plays lacrosse and has a boyfriend who's popular and is in a dance group. Why not? She can have that potential. Side by side. Again, sorry, Sasha. It's an upgrade for me. What do you guys think?
Oh my god. I love it.
I love it. I have no idea how you decided to put her there, but I love it.
Look nothing alike, but it's
I don't need to. I said I'm changing the gender. I didn't say I was changing. Oh, my next slide is my favorite. Wild choice for Willie. I chose his sister. Who could play Willie other than another Stewart sibling? Playing Willie is Fievel Stewart. How you may recognize her as Izzy from Atypical. She's Boo Boo Stewart's younger sister, only by 2 years. So she's still in the age range. Why I chose her? I don't trust anyone else with this role. No one could play this role other than a Stewart. The Stewart siblings don't miss. Okay. And I want to see her for projects. Side by side, it's not an upgrade. They're siblings. They're perfect. They're like swip swap. If Boo Boo can't do it, it's gonna be Fievel.
I was so curious who you were gonna pick. And I can't believe this. I should have seen this coming.
It's great.
I know.
Picked his sister. I was like, why not? Why not? Because this is gonna be a Fievel Stan account from now on. Because
I think Netflix read your mind, because wasn't it like yesterday or this morning that Netflix made a post that included Boo Boo and Fievel?
They stalked me because I don't follow them on Instagram. So
anyway. I don't either. I just follow the podcast accounts follows Netflix on Instagram, so I see that there sometimes.
Oh, is she gonna be a season 2? She better be. Okay, we need more Stewart.
And it was a bit weird because it was like a post about friendship. Like there were a bunch of pictures of random Netflix actors with friends, and then they had Boo Boo and Fievel in there, and obviously they're also friends, but they're mostly like they're siblings. So it's like a bit confusing, but hey, Boo Boo was featured by Netflix, which is always good.
My next slide is far-fetched. The fact that I picked Ava Green as Claire Covington solely for the fact because her eyes scare me. Her eyes are scary, piercing blue eyes. What I know her from is Vanessa West from Penny Dreadful. It's the only thing I've watched her in. Why I chose her? They have the same vibe as Caleb, not Cheyenne. She has the same vibe as Caleb. I can't explain it more than that. She's perfect though. She's scary, but she's perfect, and she would run the Hollywood Ghost Club better than Caleb ever could. Side by side, is it an upgrade? I'm not really sure. The verdict is still out. I can't tell. But I picked her because her eyes scare me. What do you guys think?
Sounds like a great reason.
Her eyes are scary.
They look scary from the pictures.
So that's all I had. Thank you to my recasting of Julian and the Phantoms.
This was
Definitely.
It was fun making it. I had so much fun choosing the people.
I would watch this show so much.
Julian and Phantom. Essie, it's your turn.
Okay. I just want to say that it's probably not that good. Okay. So now that I said that, we can start. Okay. I just want to say first off that some of these are gonna be very elaborate and explained, and some are not at all. And that's just how I felt in the moment at various like at 2 a.m. or whenever I was doing this. So I apologize in advance. But okay, let's get started. What's your favorite JHCP character says about you? By Essie. Julie. So first of all, I would like to say that if your favorite character is Julie, I love you and you're my favorite kind of fan. You're just a very sweet, genuinely like nice person, you know, just the best person. You are a cinnamon roll, but you're also willing to stand up for yourself. And I just need to tell you that you're stronger than you think and you can be a badass and I love you. I just need to I need to say it again that I love you. These are my favorite kinds of people. You also think that Julie needs more love considering that she's the main character. And you talk about this a lot, and you love Maddie, but you think that she needs better Wi-Fi. But
You dragging her Wi-Fi.
Not Maddie's Wi-Fi.
Maddie's Wi-Fi has become a meme.
you love her, you just think she needs better Wi-Fi and better connection because sometimes it's bad. But you do love her, and yeah, this is 10 out of 10. Like I said before, I'm favorite kinds of fans. Nothing wrong with you. Okay, this next one is Luke.
Oh my god. I love it. I love it so far.
You're Charlie apologist. I'm sorry. I love you guys, but you do. Like, Charlie, you know, you're great, but it's just who you are. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, you're like, if people think you're like the stereotypical fangirl, like, you know, like you're really loud, you're really energetic, you're that person who they think of. You're a bit chaotic in that way. You sip every single Luke sip, but you definitely have one that like you like way more than the others. But generally, you think that all of them are good. And also, you yourself are probably in love with Luke, even though you're also suffering with other people. And you will rant about how much you are in love with Luke on like Tumblr or Twitter or whatever. You would talk about it. Unsaid Emily is also your favorite song, and it made you cry when you first watched it, and then you listened to it again, and it also made you cry. And now every time you think of it, it still makes you cry. If you got after I do the slides, if anybody has any opinions, feel free.
Like, where's the lie? Where is the lie?
I'm just gonna be calling people out. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, you guys are pretty good. Just you're very chaotic. I think that's the big thing. Okay, next, Alex. Now this one's fairly short because my favorite character is Alex, and I felt like I was calling myself out, so that's why it's less explained. But and all of these, they're your favorite character for one of three reasons. You have a crush on them, you relate to them, or they remind you of somebody you know. So in the case of Alex, a lot of times it's that you relate to him. You're probably also anxious a lot. You're probably the mom friend in your group. You have that like one brain cell that you sometimes use, but when you're with friends, you kind of just ignore it, and it just doesn't really work at all. You're either in the LGBT community or you're like a super strong ally, and I love you for that. Willix is your favorite ship, like in the entire show. You love it so much, you want to talk about it. And there are a group of Alex fans who are the other thing where it's like Alex is their favorite because they love Alex. So if you're that kind of fan, you're probably also in love with Owen, or he's also one of your favorite actors. Which that's good for love that. Overall, you're just a lot of the stuff he says, like a lot of his one-liners, you probably relate to a lot of them, and that's why he's one of you. That's why he's your favorite character.
Sounds definitely a lot very true, and also kind of describes me because Alex is definitely my favorite character. I've even noticed myself doing the Alex okay thing, where he like starts saying something and then just gives up and says, okay. I've kind of started doing that.
Yeah, me too. I do that all the time, and I'm just like, oh, maybe that's why he's my favorite character. But yeah, Alex fans, I'm one of you. I love you. You need to be less anxious. I know you just need to, try to relax. It's gonna be okay. Things are gonna be okay. Reggie fans are probably my second favorite after Julie fans. Well, no, not my second favorite, but they're probably up there, definitely. I love you guys. You're also sweethearts. You make a lot of, I feel like I'm calling people out. I'm sorry. You make a lot of jokes and puns. And going along with that, you usually use humor to hide the pain. or use humor to make yourself feel better. I want to tell you that's not a good method. I also do that, but that's not a good method. But you also radiate a lot of bisexual energy. It doesn't matter if you're bi or not, you just give off those vibes very strongly. And you're probably also touch-starved and you really want a relationship and you'll talk about how much you want a relationship. Not only do you want a relationship, but you love your friends so much and you're also a cinnamon roll, just like Julie fans are, which is why I love you. You also love Jeremy with all your heart and you follow along with like all of his posts and songs and you love his relationship and you're just really happy that your favorite character is the actor who's a bit more chill than the other two. And so you just really love him for that.
But like, can
I
we
feel
talk
like-
about Jeremy's songs? Because like they slap. They're great. I like listen to them constantly.
I need to let him write a few songs by himself. He can do it. He can do it. I can't wait for more of his songs to be featured. Or write new ones. Come on, give the man something to do.
I feel like this is turning into a therapy with Essie.
Yeah.
It is. It is. I can't wait for the Willie slide. I'm bracing myself.
Of you the whole time I was doing that, and I was like, I can't only base this on Laila.
But this is at least partly based on Laila, admit it.
I mean,
It's like, yeah, but it's,
so fast.
listen, I'll be calling you guys out, but I'll also be telling you guys motivating things, you know? So, yeah. Okay, let's see. Willie, oh, the next one. Okay, so you're like the ultimate Willie shipper, like even more than Alex fans, you're like the ultimate one. And you also kind of ship Willie with yourself. It's like you're in love with Boo Boo, like definitely in love with him. And you will talk about how much you think he's beautiful and amazing forever. Like you love him with all your heart. You probably also hate Kayla because of him having Willie's soul. And this may actually depend on you, but you probably think that you're definitely in support of Willie. You think that he didn't have a choice for not telling the boys, or you're on his side during that whole thing, and you don't blame him at all for not telling them. And you also want to hear Boo Boo sing. You want him to have more lines. You want him to sing. You want him to be in more musical numbers.
Okay, but
Honestly,
like,
this is me.
I was gonna
me.
say you love Boo Boo and we'll talk about how beautiful and amazing he is forever. Like that's Layla.
Yeah, but she will also roast him.
Out of love. Out of love. I do it out of love. I love him. This is accurate. I love being in this therapy session. It was great. Thank you, Essie.
I was learning that, and I was like, oh, I'm talking with Laila. But yeah, you're just number one Boo Boo fan over here. And you know what? That's fair. I respect that. He's amazing, and he needs more lines and songs. So
Let's plug Paradise City. Go watch it. It came out a few days ago.
I'm confused. Is that like a sequel to that other movie that he did? What was it? The one with the metal
American
band?
Satan. I think
Because
was
it
called.
kind of looked like it was
Yeah,
maybe
it
a sequel. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, American Satan. It came out. It's like it's a continuation, I believe.
Okay, because I wanted to watch that, but I never found that on any streaming service, and I'm not sure if the other one is here. I haven't figured that out yet. But I want to watch both of those eventually, if I can find them.
I also need to watch both of them. But definitely check out his stuff. He's really talented. Okay, moving on to Flynn. Flynn, along with Reggie and Julie, are some of my favorite people. You guys have queen energy. You're just a queen. You're an icon. I love you. You also have an awesome fashion sense. Like you have really good taste in clothes. Like I said before, you're either as dramatic as Flynn and you relate to her, or you have a best friend who's as dramatic as Flynn. And so watching Flynn, you're like, oh my god, he reminds me of this person. You either have many crushes on all of the guys, or at some point in the past you have liked all three of the guys, and that's fine. You also want her to have her own cool storyline next season. And like you definitely want more stuff with Flynn that's not related to Julie or anything. You want her to have her own plot line. And you also love Jada and you want to be her Flynn's best friend. The whole time you were watching it, you were like, I want to be Flynn's best friend. I want that. And I appreciate that.
I want her to be my best friend too. And or I want to be her actually. She's iconic. Just any kind of Flynn influence in my life would be great.
Yep. We should all try to be more like Flynn, definitely. Let's see. Oh, yay. Okay, yeah. So, like I said, I say it's for a lot of these, but there's really like one of three things that makes you love a character. You might be a dad watching this with your kid, and that's why Ray's your favorite. Or he really reminds you of your own dad, and that's really sweet. And like whenever you watch this, you're like, hey, my dad's like that, and I appreciate it. The third option is that you're a dad friend, and you just make a lot of really bad puns all the time. And so you just relate to Ray, not because you yourself are a dad, but because you act like him. Your favorite characters are usually like the kindest ones, like the Hufflepuffs. Like I said before, in the bottom, you have Hufflepuff vibes. Those are your favorite characters, You're more about like those kinds of more kind-hearted characters, like the caretakers, and those are the ones that you usually enjoy seeing more on screen. Okay, great. Let's talk about it. So you either want to be her or you want to date her. I'm just saying. You also like a number one Sharpay fan. Like if Sharpay was probably your favorite character in High School Musical, and you think that she was wrong because Gabriella, she didn't sing before, and then suddenly she came in, she took all the solos. Sharpay had practiced with us her entire life, and I'm with you on that. I am on your side. I agree. On the side of Carrie, you think that when she said that line about working hard to get the spot, you were also on her side about that. You think that she did work hard and she did deserve that spot, so you agree with her. You love Mean Girl characters, you love those kinds of characters like Regina George and stuff, and Sharpay, but you also want a redemption arc for her, because even though you love to see her be mean, you also want like her to get that kind of arc in later seasons. And you might, I can't stop talking about this, I don't know, ever since it came to me, I'm like, yes, but you might support the lesbian Carrie headcanon, or you definitely want her to get a girlfriend. Overall, I love you guys, just like the Flint people. You guys are amazing. You guys are badasses. I love you with all my heart. I don't know if you guys want to say something, or I can move on to the next slide, but...
I was going to say, Carrie people and Flint people are the same people. I love them both. I am both of those people. My top favorite character is Carrie, so I relate to this too. She's so cool. She deserves more.
Definitely. Let's see. Nick! Okay, so this is
He makes the list.
This is a hard slide to it. Listening to Laila bully Nick really hurts you and emotionally, and those are the hardest parts of the podcast for you to listen to. It's like you get through it, but it really hurts you emotionally. Your next number one defender, you don't think he was boring, you think that he was sweet and that he deserved much better. You also can't wait for the Nick possession storyline, and so you're one of the fans that's most angry about it not being renewed yet, because you're like, we get to see more of Nick. He actually gets his storyline. I want to see that, and so you're one of the fans that's more annoyed about it. You also might ship him and Julie. Most likely you do. You think that he's just a better choice because you keep telling people that Luke is dead, and that's not a good choice. And I mean, technically you're right. However, we should like Luke and Julie more. You also like in every love triangle, there's something that actually annoys me because it happens all the time. But in every love triangle, like in To All the Boys, there's like one person who like is technically the nice guy stereotype, but like technically he's the more safer option, or he's the more stable option. He's usually, I don't know if he's nicer, but he's more like, he might be a bit more bland. However, he definitely like acts nicer in some parts. But then there's another guy who like the girl has more passion with, where she actually has feelings for it, and she always chooses that guy. And in any of these situations, you always like the nice guy more. You always feel bad for the guy that doesn't get the girl, and those characters are the ones that you just prefer. So that's the Nick people. I don't know if anybody wants
I
to
love
say.
point number one. Listen
Yeah,
to
me too.
Listen, if someone comes out, sends me a message on Tumblr, on our Tumblr account, says, I love Nick, stop bullying him, I will stop. But I don't think those people, I don't think they exist.
I feel like we have to apologize to any Nick lovers on behalf of Laila.
It won't be genuine because I'm not sorry.
I said we, not you. The rest of us apologize, or at least I apologize.
Let someone come forward and say, please stop bullying Nick. He's a baby. And I'll be like, sure. But since nobody has came to me and told me that they like Nick, I guess he's not that important, which further proves my point. That nobody likes him.
If you're a Nick fan, say something.
Yeah, save him.
I like how Layla's bullying Nick on the Nick slide.
She's also kind of bullying Nick fans.
No, I'm not bullying them. No, let's not start.
You say they don't exist. That feels like bullying them.
It's not personal. Unless you're Sasha yourself. It's not personal. I just need more, okay? Every episode I'll say I need more. I'm still mad I didn't make it last week because I had a lot to say about Nick that would have helped my case and how much I liked Nicholas. But it's not the same boy, so I don't think it matters anyway.
I mean, look, we need some consistency in our episodes. And if the consistency we get is Laila not liking Nick, that's what we have. We need that.
And loving Willie. Like,
yeah.
Our brand is roasting Nick and loving Willie.
I love that. I feel like it is on brand. And if I ever make merch and people want to buy it, I'll be hating Nick merch in dice. Hating
Oh
Nick,
my
loving
God.
Willie. my agenda. I'll start.
Merch coming out soon, guys.
So much funny spelling. No, only if one person buys it. If I'm the one who buys it, I don't care. It's great. We'll make money off of the hatred that I have for this child.
Poor Sasha.
The hate is not on Sasha, it's on Nick.
I know, but still.
I think we need t-shirts that say "We hate Nick" in the front, and on the back it says "Sasha's okay."
Yeah, he's okay.
If you guys want to buy shirts, let us know.
There's
There's
one
this-
of those memes that Essie made and put it on a t-shirt. That would be
That-
funny.
That reminds me of this mark that I once saw by someone from someone who was also an archaeologist, where they had like a mark that said, "I hate humans, I hate animals, I hate plants, stones. Stones are okay."
That's funny.
And some humans are like stones.
Yeah, we spent so long on this slide. Poor Nick. You know, if you're a Nick fan, I have nothing against you. Speak out if you exist. You know, maybe later to stop with a Nick. But yeah, moving on. Caleb. Okay, this is actually the last slide I wrote. So yeah, you always love the villains more than the heroes. Because they're more fun. You don't necessarily like are like, oh, Caleb deserves better. You might be like, Caleb deserves better, but for the most part, you usually just like him because he's dramatic and you love that. And you probably yourself are extremely dramatic, just like Caleb. You also want all of his outfits. You want to be as dramatic as him in his outfits, and you want to walk around like that. And I support you for that. I would also want to do that. Yeah, you would just rather watch the whole show, but Caleb and like his storyline with like increasingly extravagant song and dance numbers than the rest of the characters. You just don't find him as interesting. You find Caleb much more interesting. That's just the way it is. I do love Caleb fans. I love you guys. You guys are great. You guys don't even care about the main plot line. You know, you're just here for a fun time. I appreciate that.
Honestly, if Caleb's the villain, why did they give him one of the best songs? One of the best songs. Just out
Yeah.
of Hollywood. It's God tier. They know what they were doing. And Cheyenne delivered. I'm so grateful.
I really love villains are so much fun, dude. I don't even if you're a Caleb fan, I don't even blame you. Villains are so much fun, especially Caleb, the song. It's so catchy. It gets stuck in your head so much. So yeah. Okay. We have Bobby / Trevor. I included 2 photos because I felt like it and I couldn't choose. So you're definitely a Bobby apologist. You argue that Bobby was grieving and that he makes some impulsive decisions because he was young. And you also find Trevor like older. When he's older, you find him hilarious, and you think that he definitely deserves a redemption arc. So yeah, you're all about like, you know, you don't blame Bobby at all because you say that he was young. And like, I get that. I still don't like him because he didn't even give them credit. Like, he could have been like, oh, this song was written by my friend and now I'm going to perform it in honor of him. But he didn't do that. However, I get where you're coming from with the, like, you know, he was young and he didn't really, his friends had just died. So actually, if I skip down to the bottom slide, you have either read or written fan fiction about Bobby after the boys died, and it makes you sad. And are you okay? I hope that you're okay if you're reading this. But yeah, you definitely also have many ideas about like what he was like after the boys died, and that's why you feel bad for him. You also love Taylor, and you want to see more of him. You feel bad that he wasn't in more of the scenes. And next season, when we get it, you want more flashbacks. Hey, I don't know if you guys want to say something.
I read some really interesting theories about why Bobby did what he did and how Rose fits into it lately, but since I don't have them right now and can't give credit, I'm not going to mention them.
I know a lot of Bobby apologists. I'm in a group chat with many of them. This is pretty much every single last one of these people. And all of them, all of the works under the Bobby tag is them 100%. So they're carrying this
Oh my
whole
God.
Bobby redemption arc on their back. If they're not gonna get it, they're gonna make it.
If Bobby's favorite character, please comment when we post this what your favorite, headcanons are, whatever, how you think he was like. I want to hear them. Okay. I think I'm reaching the end. Carlos, these characters, like even Bobby, maybe not everybody has them as their favorite, but it's mostly people who tend to enjoy sad characters more than main characters. So if your favorite character is Carlos, you either are the little sibling, or most likely you have a little sibling who acts exactly like Carlos. And so whenever you see him on screen, you're like, oh, he reminds me of Blink, and that's a really sweet thing. You probably didn't really care about the main character's plot lines as much, and you want to see more of Carlos because you thought he was hilarious and adorable, and you just want to see more scenes of him. We also think that he was the smallest one to the character for figuring it out, even though it took him a while, but he did figure it out. So overall, I just think that he could have, if he was the main character, he could achieve a lot more because he's like the smallest one. And you also love the family with all of your heart and you want to be a part of it. And maybe Carlos is just your favorite because you wish you were Carlos and you wish that you were included in that. And I support that. They're the best family, so I don't blame you for that. Okay. Moving on to Victoria. If your favorite character is Victoria, reaching the end here too. You're probably most likely part of the older audience, like either in your 20s or your 30s or even older, or maybe you're a parent whose kid forced you to watch it with them, and you're like, hey, these kids seem really immature, but I like the adults because they know what they're doing. So that's probably you. Again, you either act exactly like her, or you have a family member, most likely an aunt, who acts exactly like her. It's crazy. And like as somebody who I've watched TV shows, and this when there's like a family in a TV show, I usually have family members who line up with that. So I get that. You were on her side of the whole grounding thing if you're older and you were like, yeah, that makes sense. Or you weren't on her side, but you just love the scene so much. It makes you love her character even more. And you think that she deserved more scenes. You want to see her in more stuff. You thought she was hilarious. You just want to see more scenes of Victoria. Okay. So finally, listen, I know that, okay, technically she wasn't in the show as much, but I still want to put that if she's your favorite character. So if your favorite character is Rose, you're all about the symbolism. Like the symbolism is everything to you. I don't see how this can be anyone's favorite because lack of content, just generally. But you do you. If she's your favorite, I understand that. You probably have like a million very specific headcanons about her backstory and how she connects to the boys. And you probably have like a long list of them. And also you're probably posting fan fiction about it a lot. So you guys are really doing the most. Yeah, the connections and the mystery elements of the show are more important to you than the basic teen stuff. So you don't really watch it for like all of those like love triangle storylines or whatever. You mostly watch it to see like how it all connects, and you're more interested in like the mystery behind like, oh, they used to like how the ghosts connect to Rose than you are about the other characters. So I think that's it. Yeah.
I like that you said it's all about symbolism because, like, you're right. And like, how you also drag whoever like favorite character is Rose. 'Cause you're like, you probably don't exist, but like, you do you if you do.
Like, I don't understand how you can exist, but hey.
Listen, if your favorite character is Rose, I support you. There's just not that much stuff with her in it.
Yeah, I feel like someone whose favorite character Roses is more someone who's in the fandom, but more like in the fandom part of it. That they didn't necessarily get as much out of the actual canon show, and are more like she's their favorite character because of all the fan works and stuff that include her.
Can I roast them a little bit too?
Yeah.
I feel like Rose fans are the people who are trying to prove that she's Julie's mom when there's nothing to prove that, because it's pretty clear that she's Julie's mom. Like, why are you guys picking up clues? There's no clues. We know it's her. You guys can relax now. That's what I
actually for quite a while I hadn't seen any posts that were debating if she was her mom or not.
It was early on. It was
I know, but like this morning I saw someone saw a post that started with "if Rose is Julie's mom," and I'm like, there's no if about it.
There's no if. Like, guys, calm down.
You can see it on the picture that's currently on the screen. She's wearing the vest that Julie wears during Finally Free.
And they literally have curly hair. I'm pretty sure they casted the mom after they casted Madison.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I was gonna put you think that she's the girl in the beginning is Rose Julie's mom, but then I'm like, everybody knows that. Like, I remember when it was like starting off, people were like, oh, maybe that's her, and you were like, oh my god, that's her. Oh my god, that's so cool. But like at this point, it's pretty obvious that it's her. But I support you, I guess. Yeah. So that's my presentation. I hope you guys like it. I know I called some people out. It's just the way it is. I love all of you guys, every single fan. I love all of you guys, even the Nick fans, even the Rose fans. I appreciate you guys. I'm here for you.
The fact that you went after me and you're being so nice makes me look really bad.
No, you know what? I'm here for you. If anybody wants, to talk to me about stuff, I'm here.
I mean, if we ever do this again, I'm going last.
But yeah, and I hope you guys like my presentation.
If you want advice from Essie, message us on Tumblr.
From Essie, leave your what you need advice about and leave who your favorite character is, and then I'll get advice based on that.
She will provide a thorough analysis.
Yeah, exactly.
Psychoanalyze. Love the psychoanalysis that we just went through. It was great. It was accurate. Like, you should send it to me. I want to save it.
Okay.
I want all of you guys too.
Yeah, I think everybody did a really good job. It was cool seeing you guys' presentations.
I mean, it was just
Yeah.
nonsense. I was just on Google Images. I felt
Yeah,
like you guys
mine-
you did more thought than I combined.
no, but
I
like
feel like
yours
all
was
of us
accurate
thought
though.
all of us thought we did a bad job, and none of us did a bad job. And now I could be very, very cliche and say, except me, of course, but I'm not
Oh,
going
yours
to.
was great. It was great. It was a learning experience.
Yeah, we got
Um,
to like presentations where like we learn things, you know, with Essie and Inga, and then two who are always like, we're here for the laughs, and like, you know what, that's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, the soulmate one made me cry.
It made me sad too.
yeah, that was kind of the point.
Could only imagine what she's writing behind the scenes, coming up with that.
I haven't actually. I've written like basically nothing. I've had like one scene, and it's like before Willie and Alex even meet. So there's nothing sad about it yet. I promise. Maybe someday I will get to the sad part. Hopefully, because I want to. I want to eventually post that. But yeah. Anyways, we have some feedback, and I could also share the feedback on screen because I took screenshots of it. It was from Tumblr, no, one from Tumblr, one from Twitter. That
you
would mean that we have some more visual for the video if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
It's from KK1006 on Tumblr. And they said, your podcast gives me so much serotonin. I can't really listen to podcasts because of low attention span, but I recently started listening to yours. I'm constantly smiling, listening to you all discuss. Thank you for making my day a little brighter. By the way, I'm only 2 episodes in, but I really love it so far. And I want to say, reading that gave me so much serotonin, so thank you so much for sending that in.
I know Kayla. We talk almost every day. She's the sweetest person. And the fact that she's listening to our stuff is pretty great. The person behind this user. I should have clarified that.
And the other one is the first time we got anything on Twitter that was more than just a like, and I was really excited about that. Anna Lee, who is at Anna Lee McGarry on Twitter, mentioned us in a tweet and said one of the perks of working at home is being able to listen to podcasts while inputting data. I'm loving JAT podcasters at the moment. So thank you, and hopefully you hear that. Shout out to you.
Thank
and
you.
I hope your data is behaving the way it's supposed to.
Thank you, Annalie. And come through if you're a Nick fan or not, because I'm interested.
Or just tell us
Comment your
who's
favorite character.
and how
Yeah.
much you were called out by Essie.
How accurate were Essie's descriptions? Please let
That
us
was
know.
so much fun, guys. Learning that was so much fun.
Yeah, also I would love everybody's input on what you thought was the best option on my soulmate AUs. Which is the most realistic thing, or your favorite option? So please send us that. I'm very curious.
Or if you agree with my Hunger Games statement, who would survive and who would die?
And who would you change for my recast?
Basically, what you thought of our presentations. Do you agree with us? Do you not? Let us know. Hopefully, you're gonna enjoy seeing it, you know. And for those of you who can listen to podcasts, hopefully this episode is fun for you, so you'll have like something to actually see on screen.
And just as a disclaimer, this is like the only one we have planned on doing that's visual. And I'm not saying we're never gonna do another visual one because who knows what kind of ideas we're coming up with, but it's not gonna be a regular thing. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
But
we
hey,
hope
if you
enjoy
liked it, please tell us. And if you have ideas for other visual podcasts, maybe you can tell us, and maybe we'll do them.
And also, if you want to be a part of the next visual podcast, there's a Google form on our Tumblr. I am going to plug this Google form because I did make it, and I'm expecting some people to put just one person to fill it out. Please.
You can also find it on all of our social media and even on Anchor and like in our podcast description because I made a link tree for us and you can find it there as well as all our other links. If you want to contact us, you can find us on Instagram and Tumblr as Julie and the Podcasters and on Twitter as JAT Podcasters. You can also email us at julieandthepodcasters@gmail.com or send us a voice message on Anchor. This time you can even leave us a comment on the YouTube video. And of course, you can rate and review us on iTunes and on any other podcast platforms that allow that. We would love to hear from you, no matter if it's questions, feedback, your thoughts on the show in general, or a specific episode. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Bye, friends.